people love the silent masked killers.
I do have this thing for serial killers. Every time you make it through a horror movie, you're almost like the heroes who have made it through the movie themselves. You identify with them, but you love the monster.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
Iconic masked maniacs stalk our nightmares. Join us as we take a stab at counting down the 13 most frightening movie killers in history. These are the Great American Slashers.
Rob Zombie said that these guys, Michael, Jason, Freddy, they're the new Universal monsters. They're the new Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman.
These characters become so iconic just by simple outlines. Like, if you say hockey mask, they immediately think of Jason Voorhees and not actually the game hockey itself, which is pretty out of this world.
The monster has to have a sense of inevitability. The monster has to have a sense of being unstoppable, of being an embodiment of evil.
These are, sort of the boogeymen of our time.
The violence and the mortality in horror films reminds us that we're still alive.
Teenagers love these movies so much because all they're sold these days is you're going to live forever, be thin and beautiful, bye, bye, bye. The horror movie says, maybe not, buckaroo.
I had lots of toys, and I was convinced they were all going to be possessed and come after me.
It was like Toy Story, but
scary.
It's a universal fear. We've all been kids and looked around our room and thought, oh my goodness, what happens if my playthings come alive?
Children's imaginations are vivid and scary. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to since we made the movie who said, oh my God, I had a doll that I was sure was alive at night.
Nobody thought a killer doll movie. They thought I was nuts.
I thought maybe you were pulling my chain.
Number 13.
the idea of a doll running down the hall at you with a knife, that's terrifying.
Gets you in trouble every time. And I guess they're sort of cute, but they're also kind of frightening.
Small can definitely be scary.
Hi! I have a friend that's petrified of the Muppets.
There was a killer named Charles Lee Ray, played by Brad Dourif, who is gunned down at a toy store, and as he's dying,
uses his powers of voodoo to transfer himself into this innocuous-looking little doll that sits on the shelf in the toy store.
He looks dreamily into the eyes of a doll.
Starts with this voodoo incantation.
Voodoo Dembella. Give me the power, I beg of you.
And then the clouds go all dark, and there's lightning and thunder.
And then he puts his soul into a doll. The obvious place to put your soul.
And that's the beginning of all of our troubles.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Hi.
And I love that the kid is so stoked in the beginning. He's just like, yeah, this is my best friend.
Just little weird things start happening. That is scary to me. Like, my favorite part is when the babysitter's over there and she hears something and she's walking around and then Chucky pushes her out the window.
And everyone thinks the kid is the evil one.
Why would the doll do that? And then the boy says, because Chucky said Maggie was a bitch and got what she deserved.
He goes from being this happy doll to being all like, yo, step out of the car, bitch. And I love that because they changed his little face too. He's all scruffy and he's nasty. And
it is really, really twisted when it becomes evil.
You have a date with death.
That's the best horror, is when something unexpected happens with something that you wouldn't expect it from.
And she's about ready to throw the box and the doll away, and the batteries fall out.
And then she opens up the back of Chucky.
And she realizes, oh my God, this doll is walking, talking, and looking at me, and it has no batteries in it.
But that moment in the movie was kind of scary. That he's alive. You're like, oh.
The doll's head does a 180.
That little head turn that's just something like, ah.
Looks up at her and says,
hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play?
She lights the fire and she says, oh, God damn it, or I'll throw you into the fire.
And he starts screaming and yelling at the mother.
You stupid bitch, you stupid bitch, you filthy slut! His face goes from to this. He bites her, and then they're fighting.
It made me laugh, but also, like, scared at the same time.
And Chucky's another one that just would not die.
I did everything I could to kill that damn doll, so there'd be no sequel.
That doll is destroyed.
At the end of Child's Play,
He's set on fire.
I burned the damn thing.
He's like in the fire and he's all...
They dismember him.
I ripped the head off, ripped the arm off, I shoot him through the heart. Everything you can to kill him and to say he's not coming back.
And he always finds a way to come back.
Chucky lives on and on and on.
It was a unique take on the horror genre to make it a musical.
Horror and musical, they're both very theatrical.
Nothing like being killed by someone who's going to sing to you while they do it.
Of course.
You know, you're already in this fantastical world of people breaking into song. Why not add some blood and guts into that?
Number 12.
Sweeney Todd is this super gory, R-rated slasher movie, essentially, but where the characters bust out into song every now and then.
It's kind of hard to be scary when every 5 minutes you're just kind of bursting into song.
It's basically about a serial killer.
It's Todd now. Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd is probably one of the few musical serial killers who sings, who also has a day job as a barber.
Of course, played by Johnny Depp, so it's hard to be like, oh, you hideous, hideous being.
Johnny Depp is kind of creepy as Sweeney Todd.
He proves he could sing, but he makes such a sympathetic character out of this mass-murdering psycho.
Because at first you're sort of rooting for Sweeney. You sympathize with him.
We identify with him because he is getting revenge.
And he will have his revenge.
Everything was taken from Sweeney Todd, his beautiful wife and his young daughter.
Sweeney Todd comes back filled with revenge.
He opens up a nice little shop.
Right. He starts to cut hair and give shades once again.
He's an entrepreneur.
To give you without a penny's charge, the closest shave you will ever know.
Sweeney Todd's weapon of choice is the razor blade, which is used for shaving.
It's just a unique weapon. It's just a scary thing to have.
You're sitting in the chair and you think you're going to get a shave or haircut, and, lo and behold, there's Sweeney with his knife, and it's like...
Yeah, I don't do the haircut.
This goes... slits their throat with the razor, and then hits his chair, and they fall back. And then Helena Bonham Carter, to revamp her pie shop, she turns the dead bodies into minced meat and makes these amazing pies.
Mrs. Lovett has the worst pie shop in London.
Trust me, dearie, it's going to take a lot more than ale to wash that taste out.
There are certain dilemmas for serial killers. And number one is how do you get rid of the evidence? So what do we do with all the bodies? Let's eat them. And profit of it.
Their meat pies weren't selling. So, I needed an angle on it.
They chop them up, they turn them into pies. Yeah, everybody wins.
Why let good meat go to waste? A huge hit in the neighborhood. Like, they're so tasty. No victim goes to waste, but inevitably they're making their way back into society, which is quite twisted.
Don't have enough meat pies in America, I'm always saying.
It's one thing to be a murderer, but then to serve the people up as pies is just genius.
Meat, lots and lots of meat. Chewy, sinewy.
Do what you can to survive in this economy.
Sweeney Todd is not a straightforward horror movie, but it has so many horror elements in it.
There's so much blood in that movie.
It's really graphic, and I know it's Tim Burton, so he's very, it's big, it's colorful, it's in your face, it's squeamish, and the blood pouring down in between wood and dripping, and gushing.
He embraced that Grand Guignol style so that when the neck was sliced, it's an excessive amount of blood. And it's shiny, and it's red, and it's macabre and beautifully poetic and just disgusting, all mixed into one.
There she is.
I think Tim Burton has a patent on Gothic.
You see his brand all over any of his work.
And that's what you sign up for. When you go, you are expecting
Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, and Stripe. That's pretty much what you get in any Tim Burton movie.
He's brilliant and dark and a total character and extravagant and, out there.
Send him up.
Not a day goes by where 5-10 people don't come up to me and approach me with that film. Be my victim.
The materialism of the world is so overwhelming that the only meaningful act is to kill.
I don't know.
I just remember leaving the theater and being like, oh my God, that scared the out of me.
The script was really detailed for what would have normally been just a slasher movie.
That character was just so dark and so omnipresent.
Number 11.
It came from Clive Barker, who is, apart from Stephen King, the most prolific and respected horror author that we have, really, in our generation.
And he created a new horror icon.
You go see Candyman, and the first time you hear the drill, Candyman, you've heard it before. Somewhere. Somebody told it to you in junior high school, middle school, or at a sleepover, or at camp.
If you're frightened of the boogeyman, that if you believe in it enough, then the boogeyman will manifest. And I think that some of that is what's going on with the Candyman.
Who hasn't gone to a bathroom and done the whole Bloody Mary thing and dared their friend?
Then he will appear and usually kill you. So I don't know what the motivation would be to actually say.
your gullet.
If enough people believe in it, it becomes reality.
The Candyman will come is something that none of us would have ever thought when we were playing those games, you know, at slumber parties in the middle of the night.
I'm not scared. You scared? I'm not scared.
I wasn't afraid to try it.
Let's both do it.
Candyman.
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 Don't say it again.
You never say it the fifth time.
Hey, it's Tony Todd. Big fan. Big fan. Thanks for coming by.
Tony Todd is awesome as Candyman.
You are not content with the stories, so I was obliged to come.
Candyman himself is a really disturbing character.
He's imposing physically. He's got that hook. He's got that deep voice. He's a pretty scary dude.
Be my victim.
Tony really was a great villain.
He's creepy and charming.
The voice is just unbelievable.
Hearing that, and just going, wow, where does that come from?
Tony, you still give me nightmares.
He's a fantastic actor, and just the intensity that he brought to the character, he made a iconic horror character. He created that character. Candyman is Tony Todd.
Tony's a very smart, well-educated, cultured man.
Not a day goes by where 5-10 people don't come up to me and approach me with that film.
He gets hired by his wealthy businessman to capture the virginal essence of his virginal daughter by painting her, and lo and behold, they fall in love, which is socially unacceptable.
They drag him into a field, cut off his hand with a rusty saw, and then pour honey all over his body and get swarms of bees to sting him to death. So that'll do some damage to you, psychological damage.
A lot of the imagery of him is he'll like open his mouth and like all these bees will come out.
Just really gruesome and terrifying.
Virginia Madsen was what was interesting about that film to me, because she's conflicted.
The other people within the movie think that she's the killer, and the audience know that it's the Candyman.
Come with me and be immortal.
Is the Candyman real, or is she just crazy?
That's the scariest thing. It's all in your head, and people all think that they think you're crazy. And there's no way of proving it. He'll just supposedly swoop in, do the killing, but then he leaves her at the scene of the crime. She wakes up and she's like, oh my God, I didn't do it. It was him. I really enjoy those kind of movies where you're just not quite sure if she's crazy or if it's actually happening.
Allow me at least to kiss. Once Candyman became such a popular socialist film, and people have sent me copies of their dissertations that they've written on that character for a while. You really?
Love horror films that has that sense of doubt. That is a character losing their mind, or is something supernatural really going on?
I don't view it that way. I view it as, yeah, this dude's real.
Perhaps her manifesting it in her mind made it real. I think if you're home alone and you're thinking about summoning him, maybe you'll think twice after you see that movie.
You're mine now.
this is a really disturbing movie.
It's based on a literary novel.
A Catcher in the Rye for the yuppie generation.
But it's a horror movie.
Have to kill a lot of people! Number 10.
That story is American Psycho because it's American consumerism. Now that's a great modern monster.
What if we took Wall Street,
right?
But he kills everybody.
The book and the movie are darkly funny, very, very darkly funny.
American Psycho is more of a satire of the New York 1980s scene.
So it just like embodies all of what was wrong with the 80s, the greed, the superficiality, and everything.
The cocaine. These people are so empty, they're so soulless that why can't they be killers?
Everything was so decadent and so gross and disgusting and gluttonous.
It's a commentary on how vapid and terrible it all is.
We have to promote general social concern, and less materialism.
Horror does make a great vehicle for such commentary.
There's no redeeming qualities to him at all.
He has no morality. He has nothing to root him.
Patrick Bateman's just a jerk. Self-obsessed asshole.
I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
He's having sex in the bed, and he's admiring himself.
It's about how good do I look having sex with whoever.
Right. Can you believe I'm me right now? I cannot believe I am me. Look how awesome I am.
I wish I was that guy.
Wait a minute, I am that guy.
The only excitement he gets is obsessing about trivial materialism, and he doesn't feel anything for anything else.
He wants to have the best. When he kills that guy and then sees his apartment, and he's enraged that the guy had a better apartment.
The killing is sort of like the only thing he does that gives him a personality, really, that separates him from many of the other guys.
I'm in touch with humanity.
Murdering people is just kind of a thing that fills the void.
When you see him do the killing, you see like how rewarding it is for him. It's a better than sex experience for him.
You'll love it.
What's funny about his character is that he has no imagination. He likes Phil Collins, he likes Huey Lewis in the News.
He puts Huey Lewis on.
Huey released this.
It's
an
hip to be square.
Yeah. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost.
He's like dancing, just all happy with the axe and the raincoat.
It's also a personal statement about the band itself.
He's just like, oh, and this, and I'm crazy, and I'm really happy. I'm about to kill you, and you have no idea.
Hey, Paul!
Just like that. So it's incredibly disturbing.
Maybe it's just Huey Lewis in the News and Phil Collins will do that to you.
Anyone who's ever worked in an office wishes that they could have a Patrick Bateman moment and invite their coworkers over and kill them with an axe.
The one scene where Christian Bale is chasing the girl.
Chasing a hooker with a chainsaw held at crotch level.
It's going up like this, so it's like... with blood, running down
It's
the
an
thing.
extension of his masculinity.
I would not want to wield a chainsaw naked under any circumstances.
That's dangerous.
She's running down the staircase that looks like the Escher painting.
It's winding.
And knows that he can't catch up.
You're just thinking,
Like
how is he going to
following
do it?
Dangles it.
Where's it gonna go? Where's he gonna go?
And he times it perfectly.
Boom!
Nails it with the chainsaw.
And I'll be darned if that sucker didn't land straight in the middle of her back.
And he's so excited, and he lets out that primal yell.
Don't want to live in that building.
I know my behavior can be erratic sometimes.
He's literally soul dead in a world that has lost its moral compass. I mean, that's hard.
He only kills people who deserve it, which is a very gray area for morality, right?
It's not like other horror films where they're chasing you around and they want to kill you. He's going after your soul.
He'll tear your soul apart. What do you...
He's mad, he's a serial murderer, he's a psychopath and everything else, but he's killing the bad guy.
And what's wrong with sending a serial killer after a bad guy?
He's the first bad guy that you can get behind and legitimately like for all the right reasons.
Number 9.
I heart Dexter Morgan. He is so amazing. I love him. Best serial killer ever.
The hook to Dexter that's so great. It's that great revenge fantasy we all have.
Isn't this what heroes do? Avenge lost loved ones?
Dexter is a serial killer who kills other killers.
He is a functioning sociopath, if there is such a thing.
He's just one away from being the monster.
He only kills people who deserve it, which is a very gray area for morality, right?
If you're gonna have to murder somebody, why not murder bad people?
A jar of blood. Dramatic, cryptic, playful. Could it be him?
Dexter's code is ingrained in him by his adoptive father, who's a policeman, who taught him how to channel his negative energies and sort of do some good by doing bad.
His mother was killed, and he was found as a baby in like this pool of blood. The man who became his father, who raised him, was one of the cops that found him at the scene.
Dexter was developing psychopathic behavior, like killing animals, torturing them.
He can't necessarily control these urges that he has, but he has to find a way that he can deal with them in a way that might be a little more acceptable by society.
I never expected to get better.
His father says there are bad people out there who do bad things that the police can't get to. And so you can harness your dark passenger, he calls it, to kill the bad guys.
Dexter was one of those things when I heard the premise, I went, oh, of course, a father realizing that his son is a sociopath. And instead of trying to put him away, he tries to make it work for good.
Harry taught me to lie and keep my darkest secrets from those around me.
It's basically like having a really aggressive child who wants to fight and hurt people, but you send them to martial art class to get that energy out in a productive way.
He creates this killer, good guy, superhero.
He functions as a positive force in society. He takes away the garbage. He protects people that are deserving of that, and he eradicates the threat.
He pretends to be like everyone else, but he doesn't really care. And they use the narration in a very cool way, because the narration is always honest, and they'll right before or right after he says something that's a lie, you'll get the narration that, you know, is what he's really thinking.
But he loves to hear about their crimes, like, oh my gosh, this killer, he drained the blood from her body. How did he do that? You know, he's excited by this.
He's fascinated by what he does. He has a passion for his work. He's sort of a model citizen.
He also solves murders or sees murders that normal people don't, because he thinks like them, and he can spot out serial killers.
Well, no matter how you slice it, he's still no Quincy. He was the best. When it comes to forensics, come on, no matter how you slice it.
What I love about Dexter is everybody deserves to die. It's this great hook. And then there's the great character. So you forgive it a little bit. So it becomes this sort of vigilante fantasy.
We're fine with him killing. Kill that guy. What's wrong with us as a society where we watch a show season after season, we love it, and we're like, he is the killer every show.
You can certainly say that our sense of right and wrong and black and white has certainly turned to gray a bit, hasn't it?
If we all decide to kind of give people like Dexter a free hand, then I think that we're going to just kind of devolve into chaos.
The Books of Blood, Clive Barker, when all that came along, I just remember going like, everything's changed, everything's different.
Scared the bejesus out of me, creeped me out, and it was the sadomasochism of that got to me. Really got to me.
It's not like other horror films where they're chasing you around and they want to kill you and they want to hurt your flesh. He's going after your soul.
This isn't just earthly death. With Pinhead, your torture is eternal.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Number 8.
Hellraiser marks a real shift in horror. Clive really pushed it.
on a lot of levels.
And he really came up with a great thing, I think, with the Hellraiser concept.
Hellraiser became popular, for the most part, on the strength of the Pinhead character, played by Doug Bradley.
We have such sights to show you.
Clive Barker offered him a couple of roles in the film, and Doug's attitude was, well, if I'm covered in makeup and the film sucks, no one will know it was me. The greatest choice he ever made, who was playing the guy covered in makeup.
One of the things that makes Pinhead so enduring and so frightening is how intelligent he is and how well-mannered he is.
You solved the box. We came. Now you must come with us.
There's a regality to it, which also kind of goes into the character and makes Pinhead scary. Some of that is Doug Bradley, I think. I mean, probably 99% of it is Doug Bradley.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
He's more reserved. He's British. He has a certain elegance and a certain calm.
This isn't for your eyes.
He's minimalist in his approach.
No time for argument.
Would Pinhead really be the same with a southern drawl?
Maybe.
I just don't know if your suffering will be legendary even in hell would sound quite the same, you know?
Oh, no.
Pinhead's kind of like a hero in a way, because a lot of the people he's dealing with are kind of scumbags.
What has that to do with you?
I ended up cold reading for Clive. He handed me the sides and he said, your uncle's in your father's skin and he wants to kill you and have sex with you, probably in that order. Go.
In Hellraiser, that's her role, is to kind of push that innocence and use her innocence to protect herself from the horrible entities that she unleashes.
She becomes the one who outsmarts the Cenobites.
I think Pinhead sort of has a thing for Kirsty. Just a little. Because Kirsty keeps screwing up. She keeps, like, opening things and then is like, no, wait, this time I didn't mean it, and next time I'll do it. And he's like, you know, all right, this time we'll let you off the hook.
Pinhead gives Kirsty a pass so she can live and fight another day.
Nobody escapes us.
Just the fact that Pinhead and the Cenobites have become icons says more than anything, because they're disgusting, sliced up S&M characters. And here's my action figure.
He has these spikes coming out of his face. He's all in white. He has like these segmented sections, and he's just really intense.
That look is iconic beyond Pinhead.
So he has this kind of monstrous look, but it's also kind of fascinating and slightly beautiful.
In terms of the makeup design, it was an immediate, instant classic.
Ever we designed them over the years, there's always this order you try and do, but what I call kind of beautiful, ghastly. You want them to be ugly, but also kind of fascinating.
It's all about the pins. It's upsetting. Well, it looks like something he's suffering for.
He represents the eternal pain you're going to suffer at his hands.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I think he's a terrifically horrific character.
A lot of the other monsters are fully grounded on planet Earth. He occupied a different sphere.
What makes it work is the motivations of the 7 deadly sins.
Horror does that. It should be a level of gratuitous jumps and scares, and then there should be stuff that kind of eats at the back of your mind.
That's what the horror film's all about. You say, oh my God, don't show me that, but keep going. I don't want to see it, but I do want to see it. And Hellraiser takes that to the real bodily, disgusting, kind of grotesque, corporal level in ways that most other films aren't brave enough to do.
Now you must come with us.
Williamson and West were making fun of the rules. If you were a doper, dead. If you were a slut, dead.
I was getting ready to swing that saw and see how close I could get it to Toby.
You guys are...
Do you like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
It really was a groundbreaking horror movie.
More of a game, really.
It was funny.
It's so fun to watch, and it's scary at the same time.
I'm getting scared.
It inspired pretty much every horror movie that came along after.
Number 7.
I'm obsessed with Scream.
It's balancing of comedy and also having a serious slasher put together.
You're laughing 1 second, but then you're terrified the next.
Set the bar for kind of other movies. Hello.
The opening sequence with Drew Barrymore is great. That's like classic, really good, well done horror.
Drew Barrymore answers the phone, and there's a guy who asks, what's your favorite scary movie?
Every time that phone rang, she got this much closer to death.
Hey, Cindy, do you like scary movies?
Yeah, almost like it's a radio contest.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What do I gotta win? A trip to Puerto Vallarta.
Nah, I don't think so.
Answer this question right. Am I gonna kill you with your neck? Or am I gonna stab you in your eye?
Oh, God!
Comes in and he kills her boyfriend and kills her, and in this really horrendous way.
Ghostface liked to play with his victims. Like, we're gonna have a game.
I wanna play a game.
Ghostface would be a great game show host.
It wasn't like a monster either. It was just like a guy in a costume.
That's the brilliance of the mask, is that it could be anyone.
It's a great mask because it actually kind of fits the theme of the movie, where it's scary, but there's something a little goofy about it, too.
The Ghostface costume is without doubt the stupidest costume to ever wear if you're ever going to kill anyone.
It's this long dress that, of course, you're going to trip on.
He is by far the most aggressively clumsy serial killer I have ever come in contact on the big screen.
It's an absolute bungling nightmare.
He's almost like Mr. Magoo in a Halloween costume.
He is brilliant at approaching the victim. And when it comes to tussling with them,
no center of gravity.
No.
You know, it's like a magnet for chairs, you know, and falling over things.
Constantly like running, knocking down, and falling down, like flailing all over the place.
Which is odd considering that he's a multitude of people.
You would think that they would switch the outfit, but they probably felt committed. After the first murder, they're like, well, we wore this outfit. We should probably do it again. This is going to be our look.
Scream was a fresh take on the classic teens getting stabbed.
It was the first movie to talk about a horror movie inside of the movie.
Halloween. No, the one with the guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters.
Scream basically deconstructed horror movies in the sense that it made fun of itself.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I like that movie. It was scary.
Wow, well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
We all know the rules of the horror movies. We all know this world.
Those ideas that we just kind of knew in the back of our head, you know, but we never really, they don't really spoken really in a movie before.
The virgin lives to the end, that you should never go anywhere alone.
You can't smoke. You can't have sex.
Don't go out there to examine that noise. Why are you doing that?
Wow, they're saying things in the movie that everyone is thinking.
Don't say I'll be right back.
And I'm usually the actress doing these movies like, oh great, I just said I'll be right back, and I know I'm gonna be the first one to die.
Wes Craven was saying, look,
they know all the tropes.
So I'm gonna lull you into thinking you've seen it 1,000 times.
But we can still get to you.
But with Scream, art was imitating life and imitating art.
They're self-aware, but they need to be aware again, and they're not. Pretending
to make fun of art that we were living.
It's like triple layered. Do you know what I mean?
What's the question?
It's a great example of Wes Craven taking a formula and re-energizing it by really making the postmodern slasher film.
Scream simultaneously reinvented the horror genre.
Wes has completely changed horror twice. He changed it in the 80s, and then he changed it again in the 90s.
It was probably one of the most intense horror movies I've watched.
There are elements in that film that have been stolen by every A-list director working now.
It was the most difficult, miserable thing I've ever worked on. That said, it was also probably the greatest experience of my life.
Number 6.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for my money, is the best American horror film ever made.
The original, of course, you know, set the standard for pure madness.
The insanity of the filming shows in the film. It got to the point where we weren't in control anymore of what we were putting up on screen.
You like this taste?
I really look at that movie and you've got to believe it's a happy accident. It's such a raw film.
It's just an amazing job of creating atmosphere.
It's almost an uncomfortable movie to watch.
first time we see Leatherface, the door opens, just whack.
The body's twitching, and Leatherface is squealing like a pig, and then Leatherface just grabs the metal door and slams it shut.
We just opened the wrong door. Poor guy. I've opened the wrong door. Who hasn't?
I feel bad for Leatherface. He doesn't really know what's going on. He's not all there, and his family is really crazy and very sort of gross and incestual, and he's like the product of that.
He doesn't know what he's doing is evil.
You're wearing someone else's face on your face. Something's not right with that guy.
It's very disturbing to think that this enormous hulking killer is choosing his identity based on what human flesh he puts over his face.
Leatherface wears 3 different masks. He wears what we just on set called the killing mask most of the movie. That face was the executive producer's face. That was Jay Parsley, the executive producer. And the old lady mask is torn, and the mask has got long gray hair up in a bun. And Leatherface is entirely different. He moves differently. He's wearing a big apron and
big and crazy and scary as he is, he was going for something kind of feminine.
He dresses up as the pretty woman because they have a guest for dinner. He wants to look nice for dinner.
Hey, which one out for dinner tonight? I'm going to be the lady.
Yeah. Everybody deserves to look pretty, even Leatherface.
You got to give Leatherface a lot of credit just for his athletic skills. For being able to wear the mask, carry the chainsaw, and still chase and kill naked people. That's not easy.
And right before the credits, as the truck pulls away, he's like, yeah!
The sun's coming up, it's beautiful.
It's, in a way, the single most memorable scene in the movie for most fans.
When he does that little dance in the road, it's just such a great thing. Gunner's so on it there, you know, it was just brilliant.
It's just terrifying because it's like you're watching and you're like, what is this dude doing?
I don't know if he's doing a Martha Graham dance or if he's sad that he missed her or if he's just sort of self-content.
It's almost like, I don't know what else to do. I'm just going to run, circle around my chainsaw.
I was moving around and I turned really quickly at one point and I saw Toby duck. I thought, oh, wait a minute, Toby's afraid of me. Toby knew I couldn't see him. I could barely see out of the mask. It was his job to stay out of my way. I knew that this was my one chance to really scare the bejesus out of Toby. So that's how the dance happened.
That guy can move. He's very graceful. He's a big guy. And he's all moving with the chainsaw and lyrical. And that's one of my favorites.
It was just an ad-lib thing that worked out pretty well.
It feels like this is a film made by insane people. And as it starts to kind of disintegrate, we're left as the audience sort of wondering, how are we supposed to take this?
Philadelphia Inquirer ran a front-page story about how revolted people were in the theater. They were throwing up in the theater, leaving and demanding their money back.
I mean, it was banned by everybody. Nobody wants to, you know, the worst, most terrible movie ever made.
And then Rex Reed reviewed it here in New York and said, it's the scariest movie you'll ever see. I don't think any of us expected it to, 40 years later, that people be even talking about it or remember what the movie was, That still astounds me.
What's scary about that movie is that the therapist is crazier than any of the patients.
He doesn't wear masks. He lures you into his home and slaughters you.
Endless wings at Golden Corral just got better. You better.
An exclusive look of what's on Chiller 13's cutting room floor. Brought to you by Geico.
Being a girl in a horror movie is a great thing, because then you might be able to survive to the end.
Give me a hockey mask, I'm gonna kill you!
What is this dude doing?
When Jamie Lee stabs him in the neck, it's kind of funny how he...
Oh, God! Chiller 13's Great American Slashers continues next. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Agent...
People say, well, horror films are nothing but trash. You're like, oh, yeah? How about this one?
It's a brilliant film.
It's a flawless film. The direction, the lighting, the writing, the acting. It doesn't get better than that.
Number 5.
Silence of the Lambs elevated horror big time, because here was a grindhouse movie that went on to win Academy Awards.
Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie. It is an Academy Award-winning horror movie. Deal with it.
Hannibal Lecter is a highly educated man who also happens to kill people and eat them.
You realize it could be your neighbor next door, could be that kind of person.
Hannibal's, he's smart, he's sort of sophisticated, and he's very proud of himself.
No, that is incidental.
He's like a murderous Batman where he's worked all the different scenarios out of what's going to happen.
And he knows what you're thinking 10 thoughts before you actually think it. And Clarice Starling is sent to sort of start talking to him, get his insight on the Buffalo Bill case.
Hannibal Lecter's relationship with Clarice was really interesting and almost had some type of romantic or even sexual undertones to it.
People will say we're in love.
He was definitely in Clarice's head. He had her second-guessing himself left and right, but he was also helping her because he liked her.
He gives her all the tools she needs, all the clues.
She admires his intelligence, and he's very forthcoming, and he shares details with her.
Wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lamb.
He can get into your head, and he really can twist your brain and kind of really torment you.
And how did it make you feel, Clarice, the screaming of the lambs? That's so terrifying. Not when I say it, but when Anthony Hopkins says it, wow.
He's like, I am what I am. I'm smarter than all of you, and I'll kill you and eat you if you mess with me.
So he seems civilized, but is doing the most uncivil things you can do to somebody.
And he's very classy about it. He's a good gourmet taste. He likes
little Chianti and fava beans.
That's right.
A census taker once tried to test me.
And cue everyone's impression of doing fava beans and nice Chianti and making a silly noise.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Some people like foie gras. Some people like human liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I ate his liver with fava beans and a nice Chianti. I added a list just for the fun of it. I want to make it a little more sensitive.
The times I've been at a cinema and the person next to me has been answering their cell phone or talking, and I've thought, yes, I'd eat their liver with a nice Chianti and some fava beans, I really would.
The juxtaposition of Hannibal's charm and his culture, coupled with the fact that he could suddenly turn at any moment and just violently kill you, makes him fascinating.
When he does his killing, it's horrible, it's brutal, it's disgusting.
There's a shot where the music's playing, he's washed out white, and he's just bludgeoning. Just bludgeoning, and the blood is hitting the white. And
you can see him almost like sort of having an orgasm or something when he's like beating the hell out of that one cop.
It's a poetic murder scene. And then, not content to just leave it with that, he actually then uses the bodies to create art.
That was good.
Take away the cannibalism. That guy's a really neat guy.
Probably good for a dinner party as long as you're not the dish.
Right, exactly.
You have a perfect cross-genre of mystery, whodunit mystery, and psychological horror.
It was probably the first of the slasher movies.
Set the tone for all slashers that came after it.
Number 4.
Psycho brought horror to suburbia, to everyday life.
Hitchcock, what a mad genius to be able to do what he did.
It certainly redefined the horror genre. We're still echoing out today. You don't see torture porn without Psycho.
One of the things that Psycho was so great with was that it changed the rules.
Psycho is somehow accepted as like not a straight up horror movie and more of a classic.
You would have no Freddy, no Jason, no Michael Myers. Norman Bates was the first of his kind, and he really laid the groundwork for everything that came after.
He doesn't wear masks. He doesn't carry around a hatchet. What he does is he lures you into his home and slaughters you.
I don't set a fancy table, but the kitchen's awful homey.
What Anthony Perkins did is he made normal scary.
He was the serial killer you love to love.
He's got that childlike, quirky smile that happens.
He has a face that people trust, and he's sort of gawky and rumpled.
And then it turns out that he has his dead mother in his attic.
Thanks a lot, Hitchcock. Thanks a lot for making all single guys look like creeps.
My mother told me a story when she was a young woman when this movie came out. She said people were screaming and fainting. It was so powerful. Wow. And she never took a shower again the rest of her life after seeing that movie.
It's upsetting because it's the place where we're most vulnerable, in a shower.
Oh, just the like that sound of the violins.
Everybody sees something different. He's doing this very clever, and cuts and fast cuts and her reacting.
I'm sure had you asked the audience exiting the cinema, they would have told you, oh, we saw a knife plunging into skin and blood coming out of somebody.
You never see the knife go into flesh, as you do in modern slasher movies.
It's just one of the greatest scenes in motion picture history.
Oh my God, that scared the crap out of me.
Psycho changed America's bathing habits for years to come.
Spoiler alert that Norman Bates' mother was dead and he was mother.
Norman Bates likes to dress up as his mother and then kill residents of the motel that he operates. They have a very, very low rating on Yelp.
We find out he's abnorman.
Yeah, he's completely abnorman.
Norman Bates.
You begin to think he's trying to control this malevolent figure, his mother, and you actually hear them have conversations.
Mother, she's just a stranger. She's hungry and it's raining out.
Mother, she's just a stranger. As if men don't desire strangers.
You really believe that he is an innocent bystander.
You get Norman talking to his mother, and at the end you find out he was talking to himself.
Twisted.
Yeah, that's
psycho.
He's pretty certifiable.
He's got issues, mommy issues, big time.
Oh, I do, but I say I don't.
He's not aware that he becomes his mother and kills.
He clearly could not get over her death, and he is a psycho.
It probably started to go wrong when he dug up his mother. That's actually the big step in the wrong direction.
My hobby is stuffing things.
It's a little obsessive, one might say, but come on, who doesn't love their mother?
He's the product of bad parenting. That seems to be the case in a lot of these horror films.
It's even more of a tribute to Hitchcock that the movie still holds up to this day.
Viewers today are so inured to the effects of a horror movie, to the violence and the bloodshed. It was the first time, really, on film that you could see this kind of thing.
Psycho will always stand the test of time. It's a kind of film you could revisit again and again and see little gems that you might have missed before.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Jason's gonna what? Jason's gonna run. I said, nah. I don't think Jason runs.
I think maybe it was Deborah said, you know what, let's set it on Halloween night.
Wasn't the first Kids at Camp getting cut up movie, but it was really one of the best ones.
Paramount was consistently ashamed of it. It was this embarrassing ripoff that kept on being this gusher of money.
Number 3.
Imagine a world in which you're a little kid and there's a monster under the bed, and your mother comes in and says, look, there's no monster under the bed, and then you go to sleep. But in this movie, there is a monster under the bed. There's somebody in the closet or somebody in the shadows.
Camping with your friends at a lake and some crazy person comes. That's scary.
Anybody who watches Friday the 13th, in their memory, they just go, Jason is the killer. But, is he? No. Nope. Who's the killer then?
It's Jason's mother.
And then the sequels just picked up without really explaining it, that Jason lived.
I was very hard to convince that using Jason was a very good idea. I mean, it shows how incredibly dumb I was. Oh, well, all right, we'll do the Jason character. We'll see how that works out.
Part 2 introduced Jason as the killer, but he had the sack over his head, which isn't as iconic.
In the third film, they finally introduced that iconic hockey mask, which we see from that point on.
Hockey mask is definitely a scary mask. It wasn't scary before Jason, but it's terrifying now.
There's something genius about the hockey mask. The first thing you see in a darkened room is going to be this white shape coming towards you.
He seems invincible and anonymous and omnipotent and all the things that as individual human beings we're not. So that's inherently terrifying.
He's able to take bullet hit after bullet hit and stabbed and punched and poked, but I guess that's just a sense of evil, and evil cannot be killed.
There's something really punk about Jason. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
You can blow him up, you can drown him, you can snap his neck, stab him.
He will not stop. He's not going to tell you what his motivations are, nothing. It's just, you are in his field of vision, you're dead.
Wanted to be left alone and just do his own thing, and then these kids came into his area and he kind of gets backed into a corner and is forced to murder them profusely.
No teenagers are safe, especially if they're teenagers like having sex.
Sexy teens, he really hates them a lot.
The parable is if you do drugs or you smoke, you have premarital sex, you're going to get murdered.
Jason's out there to make sure that kids today have good morals.
It's like we're doing our own modern grim fairy tale.
Friday the 13th really brought the A game up in terms of the creative killings.
He's got the machete, but I mean, he uses everything. I mean, at one point he uses a weed whacker.
People are just thrilled by the innovation of the way he kills people.
My favorite Jason kill, and this is one of the earliest ones I ever did.
The sleeping bag kill. The Hodder picks Camper up and slams him against the tree.
It was shocking. You didn't really know what was going to happen at the time. I pick her up in the sleeping bag, slam her against the tree, and just walk away.
He doesn't even move that quickly, but he still manages to catch all these hapless victims somehow.
I don't see how you're walking with such purpose. You're ever going to catch up to someone who's running. I guess maybe he just counted on them tripping a lot.
It'd be ludicrous that he never runs and they take off like a bat out of hell and he still catches them. I don't really care that it doesn't make sense. I just don't think it's scary to see Jason run. So I never did a shot run.
Jason was the original power walker.
My main focus was to make it look natural. I didn't want to look like I was acting.
Language is only 10% of communication. You can still be in the moment and commit to whatever's happening in the scene, and that energy will transfer through the mask and be caught on camera.
Right before a scene where someone's going to die, and I'll do something off the set, like smash my head against a wall or something and start screaming and talking to myself and making weird noises, and they're sitting over there saying, oh my God, he's about to kill me now. And he looks like he's really into it so much, so now they're on edge, and I think it's more convincing by the time we roll the camera. And even if it isn't more convincing, it's entertaining for me, and that's the most important thing.
Kane Hodder is a big part of why the character has been so popular.
Maybe sounds crazy, but absolute honor that character I watched for years, and now I'm playing that character. That is crazy. So I'm going to do everything I can to do it justice and have fun with it and try and make it as good as I could.
I never, ever expected a series to come out of it, or that ultimately Jason would become iconic. I never dreamed that.
There was absolutely nothing about it that made you think it was going to be anything. Anybody who says they knew that this was going to be this monster, nobody knew anything.
Very simple idea about a psycho after some babysitters. On Halloween night. That's it. That's the pitch. And it's brilliant.
Number 2.
Halloween really established the slasher genre, and one of the reasons was it really set the template for future films.
Where Psycho was like the grandfather of it, Halloween is the daddy.
Halloween was made for $300,000 in 21 days on the streets of Hollywood with a crew of about 20.
You're doing a movie basically out of college, and it was kind of like that. A bunch of college kids having some fun.
Halloween's one of those movies that the final product is even better than the sum of its parts.
John seemed to do was give the genre creatively an injection.
Halloween is the perfect mixture for a horror movie. You have the perfect suburban neighborhood, everything's fine, everything's normal, but there's something dark and creepy and scary lurking underneath.
It's kind of a world where the kids are left to their own, to smoke pot, to drink beer, to have sex, to stay out late.
Jamie Lee Curtis, she's that awkward teen that we can all relate to.
John Carpenter had talked about wanting very much for Laurie Strode to be vulnerable enough that people watching it would really care about her.
We really could not have picked a better leading character precisely because we actually sympathize with her.
She was so vulnerable that when the bad things started happening, that you as an audience member would want to take care of her.
The way that Michael Myers was just gunning for her. There was no escape.
He's just programmed that way. That's all he cares about. Some people like collecting stamps. Some people like stabbing people.
You don't know why he's doing these things. There's no explanation. He just is.
You don't really need to know why he's doing it, but John Carpenter just built so much great tension in that picture that it doesn't really matter.
The motivation changes in the sequels to Halloween.
It's just supposed to be this sort of unkillable creature. That's all just sort of like, hey, we've got a hit movie. What are we going to do with it? Well, I don't know. Let's make him her brother. Okay, good idea.
People living in suburban America where things are very generic and abstract and characterless. In some ways, Michael Myers is the perfect suburban killer.
The mask is what really accentuates that by hiding his true self from the viewer.
On one level, why this film worked and why it's scary, a lot has to be given to Tommy Wallace and his design of the character. He came up with the concept of going to get a ready-made mask, which was a Captain Kirk mask.
Painted it white, stuck some hair on it, and that was it.
Why he has a William Shatner mask? He must be a Star Trek fan.
I knew John quite well. I went down to see what they were doing. I said, well, why don't you be the guy then? I'll give you $25 a day. You can sit around and make notes and then walk around. And that was really it. It was very casual. And I said, well, wait a minute, this is my first time. What is my motivation? You know, some stupid actor thing. And he just said, just walk across the street. He had no direction at all in terms of how to walk, what to walk. Just walk across the street and I'll see what it looks like. And if I don't like it, I'll do it again. John eventually made the point that he liked the way I walked. I don't know if that was in hindsight. The head tilt is one of the eerie signatures of the character, and
it's not just stab and leave. There's always that little head tilt, you know, which again got overdone to death in the following films. It's like, well, he does it every time now.
Like he's so scared, just checking it out, like quizzical.
Yeah, that was very much John just going, okay, just tilt your head one way, now tilt your head back.
That was really powerful because there was no emotional attachment to that.
Was it a happy accident that became literally a trademark of the character from then on?
Pretty simple, but it worked real well.
You can watch it in '78 or you can watch it now, and I don't think it's lost anything. I think it's still really compelling.
There were films that had used that formula before, but Carpenter's Halloween perfects it. Creates the perfect masked boogeyman, creates the equation of sin equal death, creates the whole idea of stalk and slash, and that would dominate horror films really for the next 20 years.
Robert Englund actually said, oh, well, Wes Craven, you know who that is, right?
He said, I'm not wearing this hat, guys. Read all about it. Robert Englund quits Nightmare on Elm Street.
One, two, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
And now, our #1 great American slasher, Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare on Elm Street is just a brilliant concept.
Nightmare is the key word there. I had them for months, if not years. And my parents were so angry at the babysitter who let me watch that movie.
That script really was phenomenal and a game changer.
Freddy Krueger's a child molester. The parents take him and they burn him.
And now he haunts us in our dreams. For revenge, for the bad doings.
By taking the law into their own hands, they create this new mythic figure of pure evil.
The fire only empowered him more in his death, and for whatever reason, his spirit lived on to do more damage in death than in life.
I've never kind of gone all the way to hell. I'm lingering in this sort of purgatory because I was burned alive by the villagers. The suburban alcoholic PTA parents of a failing America.
Freddy Krueger was one of the scariest monsters in person as well as on screen. His persona and his makeup were really frightening.
It was very itchy and very uncomfortable. And I played a lot. I had to do this a lot just to scratch myself underneath the makeup until it dried. And then it wasn't bad. But in those hours of discontent, I found a little bit of Freddy. And I learned how to animate that makeup.
Robert always was walking around in character. Not that he was grabbing people and trying to murder them, but he was always kind of moody and quiet. So it was kind of scary at times with the glove.
The glove, which is an extension of your evil, of your physicality, of your humanness. This is God. A garden glove with fish knives. Something that simple.
He's got the best outfit. He's got the best look. As a horror villain, he's got the best. I'm obviously in love with him.
He's covered in burns, but he just owns it. He goes, this is who I am, accept me or don't. But whether or not you accept me, I will kill you in your sleep.
He has a sweater in Christmas colors and a snappy fedora that somehow through all of the burnings, he kept this hat.
And that sense of narcissism and vanity that Freddy has. He wears the hat to cover his baldness and his deformity, but he's still kind of jaunty and cool and in your face.
He was confident. He had swagger.
They were trying to change the hat on me, and I was showing them how great the fedora is. They've kind of lost faith in the hat because they think it looks like Harrison Ford, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So they start putting these different hats on me, and the one they keep gravitating toward is this paperboy cap from the 1930s kind of thing. So I fight, and I said, I'm not wearing this hat, guys. Read all about it. Robert Englund quits Nightmare on Elm Street.
I love the character of Nancy. I think Heather Langenkamp kicks ass.
Come on, Freddy.
She goes into his realm and she takes her power.
Nancy is one of our first proactive final girls. She doesn't just escape, she goes after Freddy.
I think Wes wanted to say that unless you proactively step forward and face that fear and attack it, you're never really going to get very far. You're never going to survive.
Freddy lives in an imagination, therefore, by definition, imagination, he should be kicked up a little bit. He's slightly stylized only because that's where he dwells. He dwells in a stylized realm.
What's universal about Nightmare on Elm Street, we all sleep. We all can relate to that. And so we've all had nightmares.
He can do the nightmare stuff, which is super scary.
We can avoid, say, going to a summer camp. We can avoid going into a haunted house that a serial killer used to live in and killed his whole family in, but we can't avoid going to sleep.
It's one thing to kill someone, but to kill their dreams at the same time, that's pretty bad. So he'd kill them psychologically and physically.
He is frightening because he really is supernatural. He really is unstoppable.
Freddy really re-sparked the whole idea of the slasher film.
Freddy transcends. He was the first one to really be a pop culture icon.
Wes used to call Freddy the bastard stepfather of us all.
He is part of us now. He's part of this culture in America.
My version of Sweeney Todd, the one that I am an expert on, is he's a demonic barber of DeVille. And I'm bigger than you, and I could break your expensive cameras if you tell me I'm wrong.
One more time.
Countdown of horror's most outrageous moments.
Moments? What?
You idiot.